Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. Creating a future-proof innovation process is not always as trivial as it sounds. In fact, it's pretty tricky. We listened carefully, even established a 6-month-long co-creation workshop with our key clients and key partners, with in-between research and user interview sections to find out what works and what doesn't work when creating innovation processes. And now I would like to share with you our most important learnings and outcomes. The single biggest barrier is that we treat innovation as a linear process from an idea to validation and a successfully launched outcome. And this is simply not the case. It takes multiple rounds of iterations and experimentations until we get to a successful result. During the 6-month-long co-creation innovation product development board with our clients, we found that the single most important topic for them is how to identify the right solution that is validated and should be implemented in the company. Let me show you how we can combine design thinking with an agile process in order to show validated impact as soon as possible. Please note that although we have 5 steps in design thinking, it's not a linear process. In the first phase, you will have empathy, then definition of the problem, ideation, prototyping and testing, but you can combine each of the steps in a flexible process as your project requires it. So it's not always testing at the very last. In fact, most of the times you need to calculate with at least 6 to 10 iteration steps. And after you have the prototype, you may go back to defining the problem again, or collecting more insights, or another ideation round with your team. So what is empathy? Empathy is collecting most of the insights through either research, looking for articles, analyzing the customer journey, how your prospects are interacting with your product or service, observing how the clients are interacting with the product, looking for employee suggestions, what your colleagues are saying you need to improve in the process, and having workshops like analyzing the root cause of the problem can all lead to very valuable insights. Now, combining these insights, you can define the problem. And if you have the problem, it's usually a question that you can collect ideas about. Now the solution will consist of many ideas grouped together, and usually it's not like a single idea someone can submit on a form. Once you have the group of ideas collected together, you can ask for experts to give you a review, something like a feedback on specific criteria in order to further prioritize your concepts. And the experts can give feedback about either impact, business viability, technological feasibility, disruptiveness of the problem, even maybe on your team composition, how much you have all the skills needed. But when you arrive to a prioritized concept, based on the expert reviews, or maybe based on already tests with a prototype, you can go back to each of the phases and improve what needs to be improved the most. So if you get maybe very low scores on technological feasibility, then maybe you want to meet with the IT team in order to figure out how to improve the technological part of the process. And you go and improve and make iterations and iterations until you arrive to a validated impact. If you are part of the innovation team, you will focus on 2 things: the opportunity or the problem, and the target impact. If the validated impact is achieved by the team or not. And you empower the team to go into agile iteration cycles of ideation, building, measuring or testing, learning, and refining the problem. If the opportunity or problem is big enough and the validated impact is there, you can still give the green light for the team to go forward iteration by iteration and improve on their concept or improve on your product or service. Let me give you an example. Scott Cook, Intuit CEO, didn't have an easy problem in 1983. They were not first movers on the financial software market. In fact, they were 47th. So he had an important job in order to increase customer experience to turn revenues into a multi-million-dollar business as it is today. So he found out that he will follow customers to their homes in order to realize how they are using the software. And he was shocked to see the frustration on their faces when they received a box that the software was packaged in. You know, at that time we needed to install those softwares. And when they opened it, they just couldn't figure out which line is where on the form because the check had completely different fields than the software itself. So collecting these insights, they defined a problem that is making the software's interface much more intuitive for their clients. He called for an ideation session with their team, created a rapid prototype that they reviewed with the best people in the company, asking for expert reviews, and prioritized the best concepts that they brought back to the clients and see what changed with their experience. Now it completely improved, but frustration was a bit still there. What happened is he went back to analyzing all the insights and figured out that they didn't take into account enough that all of the clients were using Intuit's Quicken at home for their small business financial analysis, which is always much less complicated than a large enterprise's financial service. So they redefined the problem, which is how to make Intuit's Quicken the best user experience in order to have the client get results in the quickest, most efficient ways. They ideated again with the team to find out that the solution was not just to make the interface look like the physical check, but also they had to remove many of the features in order to simplify it and have it much less complicated for the users. So we have a lot to learn from this kind of design thinking combination of agile process that empowers all of the employees to collect insights, come up with ideas to continuously improve on the products and services we have. So then, what happens with decision making? It's the role of the innovation team, right? Or the innovation board to decide on if the team can move forward stage by stage. But rather in an agile innovation process, we recommend you, based on the interviews we made with our key clients, that you can empower the teams actually to take the decision to move forward step by step and what makes sense best by just seeing whether they get a green light, go on, a yellow light, save the idea for later, or a red light, stop right now. And it makes much more sense for the innovation team to have an overview about which idea concept is moving forward, how much the recent review scores have been, and if you give the permission for the team to figure out what to do in the next sprint, or you can of course facilitate and support them and help them about like new connections, about limitations or suggestions with the company. But the difference is that in this kind of agile innovation decision process, you do not decide on whether you allow them to move forward into prototyping. It's more like giving a permission. You get a green light, and yes, if you can figure out how to validate best your idea concept, how to show the measurable impact with your team, including user interviews, including stakeholder interviews, then feel free to go on and improve your idea concept. This is how the team will learn to behave like entrepreneurs and not wait for some kind of approval, whether somebody tells them what exactly to do. So this is our best practice, that if the innovation team works like facilitators and supporters of the project and only overseeing all of the ideas and all of the teams and deciding on green light, go on, yellow light, save for later, and red light, stop right now, then this is how innovation will become an everyday practice. And then comes the encouragement and reward of the people, so that they feel that yes, it's worth the extra mile to think about how to better their own environment, how to improve products, services, processes, or the entire organization. And the best way to do it is to create a 6-month-long Innovators Club, where they can meet with other innovators in the company once a month and share their experiences, how they could progress their innovation project always to the next step, how to solve the problems on the go, and how to create impact together with the team, so that they prepare event by event for the final presentation in front of the senior level management of the company to show how they actually achieved tangible results and how they validated a measurable business impact for this company. And at the end of the day, if the reward is a handshake and the communication of the success story in front of the company, that's already the first step. But if you can give something more, like either monetarily a share from the impact that the project has created, or any kind of like valuable asset that shows how much you appreciate the people that they started their idea, and through many struggles and many challenges they actually achieve something, then it communicates the value and the importance of innovation for the rest of the people, and it's also create an encouragement cycle that yes, we want to do it too. If they succeeded, we want to be part of the journey, we want to start the journey as well. So I hope you guys got a good idea about how a future-proof agile innovation process would work and how to develop one step by step. And in case you have any questions or you would like to share your own experience, then please feel free to do that in the comments below. We are very curious about learning from your own perspective and to have a discussion with you. And in case you enjoyed the video and you would like to get new tips from our Fortune 5000 clients, then please subscribe or give it a like button, because it would really support our channel. And hope to see you in the next video pretty soon. Bye!